Good evening and welcome to World Cup number 3 2017 for our IFSC speed athletes, coming to you from a lovely and warm Villars. Perched at 1,300 metres above sea level, staggering view of the Rhone Valley, Villars, a small village in the Swiss canton of Vaud. Most of the residents around here live in classic alpine chalets, and the village retains a quiet and peaceful feel. It is, however, a very international place, being home to two of the most exclusive international boarding schools in the world, including the perfectly situated Beau Soleil College in the village centre, which enjoys surely the most distracting classroom view of any school on earth. This is the IFSC's second visit to Villars, and it is already a favourite amongst athletes and support crew alike. And we're just moments away from the start here in Villars. We did have a slight delay to proceedings due to a technical issue with some of the timing equipment, but I believe we're back on schedule and we can bring you the latest world rankings. Of course, this is World Cup number 3. We've already had 2, one in Chongqing, one in Nanjing, both in China. In the sea, we're in beautiful Villars. We've had perfect weather to stay here in Villars. The only issue has been the heat. And these rankings here, I'm afraid, are not up to date. This is 2016 rankings. We'll look up the 2017 rankings for you. Yeah, I was just saying, we've had perfect weather in Villars, but heat absolutely ordinary. Thankfully, slightly cool this evening, which is probably around 20 degrees. The last time I looked at the ambient temperature, far off perfect conditions for slightly warm, humid, but conditions should improve as this speed final. Again, we still have the 2016 rank, the 2017 ones for you. Just Porsche at Zandifar. I've just seen him warming up. He tells me he is in superb shape, which is saying something. Alexander Shikov and Daniel Bouldering, the rest of the top 4. Parce que c'est ce qui fera la différence pour aller aux Jeux Olympiques. De toute façon, la Suisse sera normalement. And in the women's competition, you can see there, top of the pile, Julia Kaplina. She swept all before her in 2017. 2 World Cup wins, recently crowned European champion for good measure last weekend. She's followed by Maria Krasavina, Anouk Jobert, winner of 4 World Cups in 2016, and Alain Moren of your top 4. And Ganova, who we've also seen in some bouldering competitions down. And that is a live view from here in Villars. Also, the views are good. It's been a fantastic day. Long qualifying for the competition day. Speed athletes climbing. A few hours ago, they had their practice by the qualifiers. And we're just about ready for the final. Crowd building here in Villars. Most of them are actually just off that shot in the VIP area. For some reason, the VIP seems to be most of the crowd. All enjoying some superb fondue, I'm told. Et la seule Coupe du Monde de vitesse de la saison sur le territoire européen, et ça c'est la vérité. Chamonix a rendu l'âme. Pour la semaine prochaine, ils auront que la diff. Il y a que les cyclistes. So if you haven't watched speed climbing before, name gives much of it away. You are right past you in the final that we're about to see. You are race next to you, it's not about time. It's slightly different in this, which has taken place. In the final, you're the person next to you. If you beat them, you progress. If you're knocked out, that's the end of your commentary. Unless you're down to the last 4, I'll explain later on. That was 16 men and 16 women, that 8, 4, 2, and eventually. Give you an idea, the current world record stands at 5.48 seconds for the men. That was Reza Alexander Zandif, who we mentioned earlier. In the women, 3 Kapina, the dominant force, and with perfect timing, she emerges on the. Both of those records in Nanjing earlier this year, the end of April. We have a slightly different start procedure in 2017 versus previous years in the speed climbing. And it does mean the climbers are able to predict exactly when they'll set off slightly better, and it has seen the times plummet as a result. There's not quite the same unpredictability in the start, and both world records broken already this year. And there is Julia Kaplina on the left of your screen. She takes on her compatriot Svetlana Sharova. Kaplina's on the left and Sharova on the right. Notice auto belays. Belays and more belaying incidents. So, about to get underway. Kaplina on the left, Sharova on the right. Full silent. Not happy.
Sorry, a little more, please.
Remember as well, there are no false starts allowed now. And including last year, if you had one false start at any stage in the competition, you were allowed that false start. You're only disqualified after your second false start. That's changed. It's one strike and you're out. Same rule as the Olympics, for example, in the 100 meters. There are no second chances. We have that rule in speed climbing, so if the climbers aren't exactly ready, it signals to the judges that they're not ready, as Kaplina just did, and not risk a false start for whatever might be troubling her. Some of our judging and official team are just, you might just be able to see them making their way around left instead. Interesting to see what Kaplina flagged here. This is something she's not happy with. We await to see it. Officials are still stage now. So we're not aware from here. We're very close to the wall competition, only about 10 metres away. I can't hear what discussions are being had, but Julia Kaplina not happy with some element of the start or the starting hold.
Elle retourne en présentation et on les applaudit, c'est la dernière fois et ça va partir. Allez.
Okay, whatever it was. She seems happy now and she pulls her rock boots on.
Okay, now we're ready. At your marks.
Both climbers are told to get on their march. And then we have a round of 16 to start off this speed final.
Ready?
Both get away cleanly on the third beep. Shirova took an early lead, but Kaplina, who's had a fantastic 2017, climbs cleanly. Doesn't work too hard. 8.65 goes through. Yeah, Shirova got a good start there. It was quickly reined in. Kaplina uses ag, provided she nice smooth, did exactly that. More than a second outside of her own world record. No need to rush. So Ala Marenic on the left there with the pink kneed leggings. She'll be taking on Victoire Andrier of France. A good year in 2016, the French team, with Joubert winning 4 World Cups. In the women's competition so far, 2017, it's all been about Julia Kaplina. She's safely through to the round of 8. Climbers again, just been made to wait. Again, study particularly the left-hand lane. That seems to be not easy for the coaster. Marenic on the left, is on the right. 1 beat 2, 3. Good start from both, and Marenic quite low down and up a bit of a lead there. This is going to be tight, much tight previous race, and it's Andrier tated 8.84. It looked as if Marenic got there slightly ahead of her. The clock doesn't lie. 8.84. Victoire. Andrier progresses.
Franchement, sa carrière, parce que c'est pas une mince affaire. Tout est possible ici à Villars-sur-Olon. On va accueillir maintenant une grimpeuse russe.
Yeah, the climbers were made to wait there. Nice to see us have a handshake before they disappear. They had a long wait. It's clearly something that the judges aren't entirely happy about around the start, or perhaps a starting pad. We'll try and find out when one of the judges comes by. Meanwhile, Maria Krasavina of Russia on the left, taking on Patricia Chutiak of Poland. Again, the crowd fight. That goes quiet. And it's a very quick start from Chutiak. Krasavina had her work cut out. She's not quite closed the gap, and I don't think she's going to. Chutiak nearly took it, caught right at the end. I think you can see on her face she was disappointed. She had a lead until virtually the end of the race. Couldn't quite hang on to it. It'd be interesting to see again if there was a stumble at the top. I certainly didn't see one with the naked eye, but Maria Krasavina progresses.
Ok, next one, Anna Tsiganyova qui va faire son entrée là à sa gauche. 5 points dans sa carrière, victoire personnelle 7-5-2. Elle va être opposée à sa compatriote russe, la portée de podium. Mademoiselle Daria Khan. Alors quand je vous parle des podiums, c'est
Anna Tsiganova to the camera there. She has a yellow tape on her shoulder. Taking on Daria Khan, also of Russia. Half of this women's final Russian athlete, 8 out of 16. So Tsiganova on the left, Daria Khan on the right. And there's a false start.
Alors là, il y a un faux départ. Et alors ça veut dire que la demoiselle qui a fait un faux départ va
This
nous
would be
quitter.
interesting.
Et si c'est Tsiganova,
I was about to say the issues that we've had with that left-hand lane,
non, pas de faux départ,
which I think, having watched the judges and they've been doing, might have been related to the starting pad. I wondered if that was a false start or if there was a technical issue, and it would seem Tsiganova just looking for clarification.
Et je crois que le départ est sur droite.
If it was a false, Tsiganova looks extremely confused. She'll go anyway, but she will be unopposed. That was a false start from Daria Khan. Initially there's some confusion. As I say, they've been having some problems with that left-hand lane. I was wondering if that false start was down to an issue with the timing pad. But no, it wasn't Tsiganova who false started, it was Daria Khan. Tsiganova will get basically an extra practice run. And she's barely speed climbing at all here. This could be a record for the slowest descent. Tsiganova. Been doing this a long time, knows not to waste any energy. She'll climb to the top because she has to progress. At 22.45 seconds, possibly a record in its own right. Seen Anna Tsiganova taking part in some bowling cups. She's been doing pretty well as well. Primarily a speed athlete. She'll make it into the round of 8.
Aussi de cette discipline, 14 podiums, 7 victoires en Coupe du Monde. Elle est opposée à la
This will be interesting. Anouk Jobert of France. She'll be taking on Svetlana Motovilova of Russia. Jobert on the left, Motovilova on the right. And the lightning mark from Jobert. She's resting the lead. And as well for Motovilova means this is something of a formality. 8 seconds flat for Jobert. Have another look at that from Joe.
Russia versus Poland.
Theoretically, when you're in that left-hand lane, certainly in the early phases, you can't see your opponent quite as well because you're looking to the left instead of in the right-hand lane when you're looking to the left. When you're looking to the left at your opponent, and I think Anouk Jobert realised pretty early on what was needed there and delivered it. So Lena Remizova will now take on the veteran Adita Ropek. Ropek had a successful and long speed climbing career. And it's a quick start from Ropek, nothing wrong with her reactions, and this one is tight. Remizova on the left, Ropek on the right. Remizova opening up a small lead which she would just about hang on to. 8.31 for her, knocks out Adita Ropek. And this crowd here in Villars, give her a big cheer. One of the tightest races we've seen. Let's have another look at the finish. There we go, won it by 1300ths of a second. Adita Ropek out in the round of 16. Out next is Lizaveta Ivanova of Russia. She will be taking on Puji Lestari of Indonesia. Indonesia well represented here in Villars. I was out for a morning jog this morning, and huge Indonesian team all out for a group run around the village. And again, checking the timing pads. Judges are happy. So Ivanova on the left.
Ready?
Lestari on the right. And it's a quick start for both climbers, but I think Ivanova's opened up a small gap. She's going to have to work hard to hang on to it though. This one is tight, and I think Lestari might just get it. She doesn't, misses out by 700ths of a second. 8.72. for Elizaveta Ivanova.
Déjà des Russes dans le prochain run. Applaudissements s'il vous plaît pour la grimpeuse d'Indonésie, Pouyi Lestari, qui va nous quitter. On en est à une Russe.
And we're already down to the last race in the round of 16 in this women's speed climbing final. And that's what 700ths of a second looks like.
On va faire les comptes après.
The two climbers you'd expect to see higher up at the business end of this speed final. Aurelia Saracen, who you see there, just being clipped in. As I mentioned, we're using auto belay systems. And Anna Brozek, Poland. Both these athletes might have expected to progress, but one of them will be out early on. It's Brozek on the left, Saracen on the right, and it was a very quick start from Brozek. She got a big jump on Saracen, and she's just about hung on to a lead, but Saracen's really closing it. Doesn't quite close it enough. There was a stumble about 5 meters from the top from Saracen. She is knocked out, 9 seconds for 9.003. 0.7 for Brozek, who will progress. As we watch replay, I can see in the way about to come to the stage, familiar figure of Libor Harosa, legend of the sport climbing world, speed climbing world specifically. And I had a good chat with Libor the other day. He said he's hungry for success. He wants to win again. Interestingly enough, he was saying that earlier in the year he was having some problems sleeping. People ever had trouble sleeping, you know how that makes you feel. And he said it was making him feel lethargic, unmotivated. He was picking up small injuries. Whatever was wrong, he's corrected it. Sleeping 9 hours a night, it's paid off. As he would seem to be in great form, we shall see. Rosa on the left, and he gets a good start. He's racing though, overtaking at the top, and it's 6.41. Didn't even have time to injure his opponent, Sergei Luzetsky of Russia. I was just saying that Libor's looked in superb form. Enjoyed coming here in Villars, said he was hungry, said he was motivated, said he was fit. And he is out in the round of 16. Looks disappointed. He's out early on here in Villars. So Ludovic Sali is out. Sikiomi Timmy of Russia. Again, Russia well represented in the men's final. 6 athletes out of 16 versus 8 in the women's competition. Timofeev had a really good 2016. Can he rediscover that form? First step is to beat Ludovic Fossali, and there's a false start there. Fossali twitched. You'll see, it seems like there's some confusion here. It seems to me, watch a naked eye, that it's Fossali who twitched, but it's Timofeev who's going to false start. Ludovic Fossali with a number left. Let's have another look at the false start. Watch Fossali on the left. We didn't see it on that replay. Certainly a small twitch from him, but it was Timofeev who left the pad first.
Ready?
About leaving that starting pad. Ludovic Fossali had a nice clean unhosed from the top. I was just saying, Dmitry Timofeev needs to rediscover his form. He won't do it here in Villars. Unfortunately, we don't have any speed climbing next week in Chamonix. We're originally planning to have some. For some reason we won't. So this time, these athletes now need to go.
5 secondes 76, champion du monde en 18, le 18 septembre dernier à Bercy. 9 podiums dans sa carrière, 4 victoires pour le Polonais. Et de l'autre côté, on ne sait pas ce que ça va donner, mais je peux vous dire que ça risque.
So out on the stage, the man who dominated 2016, Marcin Zienski. He's recently crowned European champion just last weekend. He's taking on Pangeran Septo with Siburian. That did take a bit of practice, I have to admit. Zienski on the left, a clear favourite, but we've seen some difference already in this men's final. I don't think we're going to see another on 6.42. And he's safely through. Let's have another look. Siberian is climbing well, but just be interested to see that again. Probably got tangled up slightly with the also big slit. Either way, Zienski is through.
17 podiums dans sa carrière, 10 victoires, un russe mutant, Stanislas Kokorin, qui est le plus petit russe de son équipe. Mais quel talent
So,
Stanislas.
none of the women yet under 8 seconds. None of the men currently under 6. Early days, so. Stanislav Kokorin on the left, Gianluca Zoda on the right. Both get a nice clean start. Kokorin looks like he's got a bit of a lead, and I think he's just about going to hang on to it. He is. 6.23 sees him through. Tight race, so 6.55 for Zoda. Interesting enough, Dmitry Timofeyev, who false started earlier, is on the day 10 metres over to the side where the boat will be. It doesn't knock a happy man. False start for him. It's one strike, you're out in 2017. No second chances. There he is. Familiar figure of Reza Ali Porshena. Current world record holder, 5.48. May not need to go that fast on this round. So see he's taking on Tony Mamiri, again of Indonesia. He flies out the blocks, Reza. Again skips that third hold. We've seen him do that before. 5.96, blazes under 6 seconds. And I was just saying, he skips out the third handhold. It's a very unique method he has of doing the route. Requires extraordinary power. If you ever come here and you see a speed wall in the flesh, you'll see why. It's an awfully long way. Sorry, the fourth handle. Awfully long way from the third one to the fifth. Completely ignores that fourth handhold. And he's through. Lost in concentration there. Alexander Shikov of Russia as the pair opponent, Leonardo Jonteres. Had a good start to 2017. Needs to keep it up. Can he do so in the European season? He got a good start in that race. But this is tight. Shikov on the left, Jontero on the right. And Shikov slips and Jontero brings it home in 6.31. I mentioned earlier, if you're in that right-hand lane, you're naturally looking to the left. You can see your opponent really well. I wonder if Jontero just knocked off a bit of speed his final couple of moves just to make sure everything was precise. Does what was required. 6.31 for him. He goes through. There's Vladislav Dolin, already a World Cup winner in 2017. It's the happiest man in China that evening, if you remember. Takes on Yulianto Abudzar of Indonesia.
Ready?
And it's a good start from Abudzar. Dolin is going to have to work for this one if he wants to progress to the round of 8. He does in 6.18, but still 6.33 from Abudzar. Extremely good time. Would have been enough to get him through in some of the races we've had. But as I said, it's not about time, it's about the person next to you. Interesting aspect of this speed final actually is how many non-speed climbing athletes are watching it. The Olympics now just 3 years away. Extraordinary thought that is, when climbing will make its debut and it will be a combined competition. Anybody that wants to win a medal will need to do all 3 disciplines, including speed climbing. Interesting how many non-speed climbing athletes we have here watching this. Perhaps trying to figure out whether they could do it too.
Ready?
In the meantime, Georgia Martinov on the left against Guillaume Moreau on the right. Another tight race. Moreau absolutely flying and just misses out 600ths of a second. Holds his hands to his face with disappointment. Artemonov on the left looks quite nonchalant. I have to say, it didn't look very nonchalant when he was racing. Gets it done. 600ths of a second, excuse me. Yeah, I was just saying about the There we go. That's 600ths of a second in slow-mo. The non-speed climbing athletes we've got here, perhaps, as I say, just trying to figure out whether they could do this. What might be required. There's certainly more of an interest in speed climbing amongst the athletes from the other disciplines. The Olympics coming up. During the lead semi-final tomorrow, it'll be quite interesting. There's a few young climbers around the 2021 mark who do all three disciplines. They may not be household names. They might not be the names you're used to seeing winning World Cups. But it would certainly be worth keeping an eye on, because three discipline athletes in the next 3 or 4 years are going to have a very interesting time. Meanwhile, you might be able to hear in the background our MC Christophe does all the French and Swiss World Cups, just geeing up the crowd. If you watched coverage from Paris in 2016, no doubt remember him. So we're through to the round of 8 in the women's speed climbing final. As ever, things going quickly on the wall and off it. Speed climbing finals always seem to come and go so quickly. So through to the round of 8. This replacing the semi-finals. Kaplina on the left, Victoire Andrier on the right. And it was a very quick start from Andrier. Initially wondered if it might be a false start. I don't think it is. But Kaplina quickly reins her in. Takes it in 8.08. So Kaplina goes through. Andrier got the jump on Kaplina there right at the start, but in a Usain Bolt-esque way. Kaplina just used pure speed. Got the job done in 8.08. And already we're ready to go again. Maria Krasavina on the left of Russia. There she is. She will take on Anna Tsiganova, also of Russia. Tsiganova, you'll remember, through in 22.35 seconds. She ran unopposed after a false start from Daria Khan. Krasavina, meanwhile, qualified in 8.84. And again, good start from Krasavina. Flew out of the blocks. Tsiganova, a bit like Kaplina in the previous race, just trying to rein her in with pure speed. I don't think she's going to manage it. She's not. Krasavina takes it in 8.04.
Et voilà, et vous allez voir, c'est comme ça que ça se resserre. Les compétitions, déjà on aura pour le prochain run.
Let's have another look at this top section. No glaring mistakes from the camera. Krasavina started fastest. Red opened it up just the end. Just what counts as ever. Picture of concentration. Elena Remizova is her opponent. This replacing the final 4.
Ready?
Jobert just rocked back and launched into the start. She's given herself an early lead. Remova's going to have to carry her, and 7.86 fast time from Jobert. She takes it. Already had the lead, and a slip from Remizova made life relatively comfortable for Annick Jobert. Still a fast time, 7.86. She's got something to prove. 4 World Cup wins last year, but didn't take the overall title. Final race in this round of 8, women's speed final. Elizaveta Ivanova, she qualified in 8.7, just slower. 8.74 was Anna Brozek on the right. And a false start. Both athletes nervously look up to see who it was. And it was Anna Brozek of Poland. Hopefully we'll see a replay of that. So Ivanova will progress. Anyway, but time
c'est
pressure.
dommage, j'ai plein de Suisses allemands autour de moi, il manque un speaker suisse allemand quand même. Ça aurait été bien pour la...
Still goes reasonably quickly, no repeat of Anna Tsiganova cruising up the wall. I believe after this we can see a replay of the false start from Anna Brozek. partner, of course, of Marcin Zienski. Yeah, very clear one.
Where are the Russian team, please, in the area? Peut-être là-bas sur le côté. Ils seront avec vous ce soir pendant
So Ivanova makes her way off the stage. She'll be through to the final four. If you are watching speed climbing for the first time, I will explain how it works once we get to the final four. But first, we've got this round of 8 for the men. Ludovic Fasali on the right there. And climbing for Italy takes on Sergei Luzetsky. Luzetsky got a really good start, but Fasali took the lead, then slipped himself, regains the lead and takes it in 6.64. Fasali, of course, had an unopposed run in the first race. Dimitri Timofeyev false started and Fasali just cruised to the top in 8.26. By the standards of elite male speed climbers, it's pretty steady. Had to work a bit harder that time. 6.64 sees him through. Here's Marcin Zienski and Stanislav Kokorin, World Cup winners both. Zienski, very much the man of 2016, looks to be finding form again this year.
Ready?
Quick start from Kokorin, but Zienski in that scuttling style of his almost caught him and seemed to just lose momentum midway, and he is out.
Incroyable, ça c'est ce qu'on appelle une belle prestation en Coupe du Monde. Là tu vas pouvoir ressortir la chanson de Kokorin.
Yeah, slip from Zienski. Almost seemed as if he lost momentum. Couldn't quite see what happened with that right hand. Just seemed to lose his way slightly and he's out. Still can't quite seem to repeat the heroics of last year. Meanwhile, two heavyweights, quite literally. Reza Porshena and Leonardo Jontero of Italy. Both lost in concentration, staring at the floor. Both again being made to wait, trying to maintain their concentration. Reza just looked up now, he looks at his hands. Jontero twitching. This is difficult for the athletes. They're such a ball of energy when they come out here. They want to get on the wall and get up there as fast as they can. Being made to wait like that, that energy just begins to dissipate. Doesn't make life easy. Again, we have a check of the starting pads. All seems to be in order. Reza went through 5.96, his record is 5.48. He'll take on Jontero, went through in 6.31. Quick start from Jontero, but Ali Porshena absolutely flying here, takes it in 5.82. Ali Porshena just seems to be able to measure that speed so accurately, just seems to know what's required, progressively quicker. 5.96 in the previous round, the only man under 6 seconds so far today. 5.82 against Jontero. Jontero had a couple of slips anyway. He's struggled to beat 5.82, even with a clean run. Superb from Reza. Disappears back in. One of his big rivals for the win. As I mentioned, already won a World Cup this year. Vladislav Dulin, there he is on the left. Takes on Georgy Artemonov of Russia. All Russian affair, and it was a quick start from Dulin. He's got a lead. I think he's just going to hold on to it. And there is a problem with the starting and with the timing. You did not just see the world record halved, I'm afraid. Just had the starting pads checked on the race before. Neither climber looks particularly impressed, understandably. 3.10 is not their time. Let's have another look at it. I have to say, I was concentrating on the race, as probably as surprised as the athletes were when they saw the time.
Il a déjà enlevé ses chaussons.
It looks
as
if it's going to be a rerun.
Alors là, c'est vrai qu'entre eux, c'est pas grave, mais pour après, j'espère
Whatever the judges have offered as a solution, clearly been accepted by the athletes.
Mr. President, what's happened?
The MC just asked Chief Judge.
Allez, ils vont rentrer en isolement, on va prendre les infos un petit peu, peut-être les laisser respirer.
Try and find out what's gone on. In the meantime, we have an empty stadium. Once again, the starting pad's been checked. It's extraordinary how many problems we have with the starting pads. It seems a very complicated piece of equipment, but there we go. There's some sort of discussion going on at the front of the stage. Try and work out what's going on.
Bon, on attend savoir si on envoie les filles ou si on envoie les garçons tout de suite. J'espère qu'ils se régalent la télévision. Non, c'est le live streaming. Hein. Ça y est, on est en direct avec nos amis de tous les grimpeurs du monde entier.
Once again, the judge is just discussing this situation.
Connexion à chaque fois sur les coupes du monde.
Some of our crowd in Villars. It's been the most wonderful couple of days here. Searing heat in the middle of the day. In fact, for most of the day, the evenings have been fantastic. It's pretty much hard to stay anywhere with a bad view here in Villars. And I'll find out what has gone on and let you know. Bon, est-ce qu'on peut aussi applaudir tous les bénévoles suisses, s'il vous plaît, tous les grimpeurs du canton de Vaud, du Valais, de toute la Suisse représentée, la Fédé suisse aussi, et bien sûr Villars-sur-Olon. And I've just found out there was an issue with the timing, as you might have suspected, from 3.1 seconds being shown as the athlete's time. And they've been given 5 minutes. You might have seen the judges signalling to Delin and Artemonov. They had 5 minutes to rest and recuperate. In the meantime, we hope there will be some further tests done on the timing system. But it seems to be working now. As I said, all sorts of problems with them. I'm not a tech guy, so I can't help, but the athletes will have 5 minutes and they'll be back out. I've already had roughly 2.5 minutes. Already had about 2.5 minutes. Let's have another look at Reza Ali Porshane. This is the fastest time we've seen so far. In fact, this was his first run against Tony Mamiri of Indonesia. That was 5.96. He went one better in the next round. This was Leonardo Jontero, 6.31. 5 minutes rest and recuperation time for Delin and Artemonov. Can't be far off finish now. He's back on the stage shortly. You might have seen the judges signaling 5 minutes to them. They seem to accept it. A pretty good vantage point. Eddie Folk there, official IFSC photographer in the fetching blue shorts. 5'10" cap, who we interviewed. You can see that interview on Facebook with his predictions for the 2017 lead season. Not used to being in the spotlight. Doesn't mind it though. Yeah, check out the IFSC Facebook page for Eddie's predictions on the 2017 lead season. He doesn't go too out there, I have to say. It's not too left field. I was encouraging him to throw a few random names into the hat. They've got a fantastic view up there, perched in the cherry picker. Rather than me, I hate the cherry pickers. But pretty much a perfect viewpoint to take pictures of a speed wall. Unlike some of the speed walls, there's no access to the back of it, certainly not without industrial rope access equipment. There's no ladder, there's no steps at the back, so you can't stand at the top of the wall and look down as you can at some venues. So the photographers are in the cherry picker next to the wall. And the climbers are back out. Vladislav Dulin, closest to the camera there. His compatriot, Georgi Artemonov, if you are just tuning in. There was a technical incident with the timing system. They've had 5 minutes rest and recuperation. And now rerunning their race. This is the final race in the round of 8.
At your marks.
So it's Dillon on the left, Artemonov on the right. Hopefully with a clean race. And it was a very quick start from Dillon, just as the previous time. He's just about hanging on to that early lead he created, and he goes 5.92. Second man, under 6 seconds today. Meanwhile, over in the women's competition, Anouk Jobert's already been under 8, 7.86 for her, so fast times already here in Villars. Let's have another look. There we go. It would have been about 800ths of a second, but Artemonov didn't apply sufficient pressure in the correct place on the timing pad. He didn't stop the clock. It's not a case of just brushing against that pad. You've got to touch a specific part of it with sufficient force. It's quite a big specific part. They're not expected to be extremely precise, but you can't just slap it anywhere. It's got to be in the centre. So it doesn't stop the clock. It looked to me as if Dillon took that one by about 1/10 of a second. So we see again our top 4 women and top 4 men. The athletes are presented once again to the crowd. This crowd here in Villars now almost completely in the dark. It's got dark very quickly here in the Swiss mountains. And there is Julia Kaplina, just having her extensive list of achievements listed by Christopher, the venue MC. She's joined on stage by Maria Krasavina. We reintroduce, remember, the top 4 women and top 4 men before the final round. There is Anouk Jobert, looking happy and relaxed. Amazing how she can turn it on and off. I saw it just before I made my way over here. She looked quite relaxed, said hi, big smile, but then it just seems she can just get her competition face on in a second. Fantastic to see. And there's Elizaveta Ivanova. So, Russia already guaranteed at least 2 spots on the podium. Nobody apart from that lady on the left. Julia Kaplina has stood on top of a World Cup podium in 2017. What a year she's had, broken the world record, 2 wins. Just having a bit of last second preparation. Ludovic Fasali of Italy. We've got a question on Twitter. Don't forget you can get in touch. Hashtag IFSC WC from Nati. Does every speed climber climb the route in the same way? The quick answer is no. We saw earlier on Reza Ali Porsheni. He skips out the 4th handhold. He goes directly from the 3rd to the 5th. And there are subtle differences in technique. Before the season is out, I'm determined we will get a speed climber on the commentary for you. They'll be able to explain the absolutely minute differences in technique. Some of the differences are quite big, like Reza skipping out the 4th hold. Some of them much more subtle, and then the climbers also have contingency plans if they should slip at a certain point. So yes, the answer is they do all have slightly different techniques. It'll also be slightly dependent on build and body shape.
Allez, à partir de là, il y en a un des 4 des 2 côtés qui partira au pied du podium. C'est la dure loi du sport et les 3 autres prendront une médaille avec des prize money, évidemment. Bon, DJ, Nico, j'espère que tu es chaud bouillant. On a le droit à tout là. Sergei il a dit, vous pouvez être débile les Français, faites-moi plaisir. Là c'est les derniers runs, ça se fait toujours en one shot.
So they were your 4 male and 4 female finalists. Ludovic Fasali, Stanislav Kokorin, Reza Aliposhchena, Zandifar and Vladislav Dulin are the 4 men. But yes, in answer to your question, Nathan, they do have different beta, and as I say, I will endeavour to get one of the top speed climbers on the commentary one day. We'll get them to explain the very subtle differences in beta rather than me doing it. So what we have now is the round of 4. The winners in these rounds will go to what we call the big final. That's basically the playoff for the silver and the gold medal. The runners-up in these 2 races will go through to what we call the small final. It's speed climbing's version of the 3rd, 4th playoff. That will decide who gets the bronze medal.
Je rappelle qu'on va avoir quand même Krasavina 7,67, 7,38 pour Katlina. Pas d'information pour
again, this crowd in Villars just waiting for the athletes to head out. As I said, almost entirely dark now in Villars. Temperatures plummeted. Hard to imagine that this was the same venue that was bathed in baking sunlight just a few hours ago. Could make conditions quite interesting for tomorrow morning's lead semi-final. Just as an aside, we're live at 10 o'clock and the wall doesn't lose the light, the sun, excuse me, until 11:30. So the first hour and a half of the semi-final tomorrow, heat will be a major factor. Anyway, enough of lead. This evening is all about speed climbing, specifically right now an all-Russian affair. Yulia Kaplina and Maria Krasavina. As I say, this for a place in the big final. The runner-up will go into the small final, speed climbing's version of the 3rd, 4th playoff. Whoever wins this guaranteed gold or silver here in Villars. Most people would have Kaplina as the favourite here. And she got a bit of a sluggish start, and Krasavina's got a good lead here. Kaplina is going to need to pull out all the stops if she wants to take this. She does! What a performance from Yulia Kaplina. 7.73. She can go faster than that, but rarely will she have to work quite so hard. She was forced to work for that one. Got a really sluggish start. You can see at this stage, Krasavina had a bit of a lead, and it was about here. Kaplina just took the lead just in time, took it in 7.73. Fastest time we've seen from a woman today. As Anouk Joubert mentioned earlier, she can switch the competition face on and off, seemingly at will. Here she is taking on Elizaveta Ivanova. Anouk Joubert again just set herself ready to launch into the start, and it seems to have worked because she's got a healthy lead that if anything is growing, and she takes it in 7.78. A tiny bit slower than Kaplina, but more than enough to see her through.
Et on peut les applaudir là s'il vous plaît, hein. Vous avez vu? Et je vous dis, hein, franchement et sincèrement, il y a 5 ans, on n'aurait jamais imaginé quelque chose comme ça. L'entraîneur de l'équipe de France, vous pourrez discuter avec
So, Russia will take 2 medals. They won't take 3 because Anouk Joubert is into the big final.
Victoire hein, déjà pour Anouk. Allez, on fait la même chose pour les garçons. Première demi-finale. Fossali, il a résisté comme un dieu depuis tout à l'heure. L'Italien sur la gauche. Est-ce qu'il va réussir à sortir le...
So Ludovic Fasali progressed to this round with a 6.64 against Sergei Lugzetsky of Russia. He takes on Stanislav Kokorin, 6.02. These are the two of the final 4 who didn't go under 6 seconds in the previous round. Fasali on the left, Kokorin on the right, and Kokorin got a good start and has a relatively easy cruise to victory after a big slip from Fasali, fell clean off the wall. 6.15 sees Kokorin into the final.
Et applaudissements franchement pour l'Italien qui est incroyable. Fossali en petite finale.
So, currently the fastest man in the world officially with 5.48. Reza Ali Porshena takes on Vladislav Dolin of Russia. There he is. Dolin also under 6 seconds earlier today. This will be fast. Whoever wins this will need to pull out something very, very special. And it was a quick start for Kokorin. Ali Porshena got left behind a bit, but he's quickly making amends. 5.55, Reza Ali Porshena. And a bit like in Kaplina's race, Reza got left behind ever so slightly. More than made up for it though. He progresses. And as I mentioned earlier, just seems to know how to get the speed when he needs it. Times 5.96 in the round of 16, 5.82 in the round of 8, 5.55 in the round of 4. He progresses.
Et ensuite, eh bien, on verra les dénouements de cette compétition et puis les podiums, le protocole olympique. Alors, c'est vraiment sérieux hein, pour tous ces grimpeurs là, les Jeux Olympiques.
Dolin seemingly not happy on that replay. Looking elsewhere when they were lowered down first time, didn't seem happy with something. I wonder if he was suggesting that 5.87 is still pretty fast. If that's not enough to win, I don't know what is. Who knows? We shall see. Meanwhile, this is the small final. This for the bronze medal in the women's competition. Maria Krasavina comes out. Elizaveta Ivanova, her opponent. Krasavina's closest to the camera there. Ivanova on the right.
Et après, on verra le dénouement pour l'or entre la France et la Russie. Il y aura 2 médailles pour la Russie ce soir. Le public de Villars, s'il vous plaît. On les applaudit.
Krasavina to get here. Beaten Anna Tsiganova and Patricia Chudziak, and she gets a good start in this small final, but she's struggling for momentum, can't quite seem to open up the gap, but does enough. 8.46 sees her in 3rd place.
Hey, la baston entre l'Iranien et le Russe en finale, ça va être terrible.
Yeah, I was just saying then Krasavina beat Patricia Chudziak and she then beat Anna Tsiganova to reach the small final. Beaten by her compatriot Yulia Kaplina. But she ends up in 3rd place, she wins the small final. So Vladislav Dolin makes his way back onto the stage, as does Ludovico Fasali. Dolin, of course, already been involved with the technical incident when we had a problem with the timing. He's had less than 5 minutes rest this time. He had more than 5 minutes after his technical incident. Of course, speed climbing, a bit different from the 100 metres in the Olympics, say, where they just do 1 or 2 races a day. Got to do them back to back, not easy. Endurance still a factor in speed climbing. Dolin and Fasali the belly.
Ready?
Got off the stage and they're back on. It's Fasali on the left, Dolin on the right. Dolin got a really fast start there, but Fasali's got some pure pace. This one will be tight. Dolin takes it 5.84. Threw himself at the timing pad. Never seemed like he quite found his rhythm, Dolin, but that great start just gave him enough. Fasali looks disappointed, but I think it might reflect it's not a bad result, 4th place, when you look at the calibre of climbers we've got here. And as ever, great to see sportsmanship as they head off, big handshake. Dolin waves to the crowd, he's back in, bronze medal for him. Had been a fantastic season, currently leading the overall rankings.
Déjà, bravo, Villars-sur-Roland, bravo les Suisses, on vous aime, vous avez été magnifiques. Là, je vais vous demander juste 2 sublimissimes ovations pour la fille la plus rapide du monde et la vice-championne du monde représentant la France.
Dolin, of course, by the way, we mentioned it earlier, we showed it on the screen, leading the overall standings. And that lady there on the left is leading the overall standings in the women, and she takes on Anouk Jobert, who was so close to winning the overall title in 2016. This is a massive race. Kaplina won the overall last year and pipped Jobert, but Jobert perhaps, I know it's the rules are the same for everyone and the scores are the same for everyone, but Anouk Jobert perhaps felt she deserved the overall win. She has her chance to claim her first World Cup victory of 2017.
Ready?
In just a second. She's on the right, Kaplina's on the left. This for the gold medal. And it was a good start for both women, particularly Anouk Jobert. And she is flying up this route. Kaplina just about catching her. This is going to be so tight, 7.59. And it's Kaplina who takes it. That was incredibly tight. Hopefully we can get the graphics back with the exact time. Kaplina took it by the narrowest margin. There we go, 1,000th of a second. Well, initially we couldn't see who'd won. 7.59 showed for both climbers. Yulia Kaplina takes it by 1,000th of a second, and poor Anouk Jobert, who I mentioned, 4-time World Cup winner in 2016, hasn't won one this year. Thought she might be in. And that is 1,000th of a second. Yulia Kaplina wins once again. You will not get a tighter finish than that. So once again, Anouk Jobert has to set for second, but Kaplina knows now, if she didn't know before, that she has a major challenge on her hands. She wins the women's big final, takes the gold medal by 1,000th of a second. So Stanislav Kokorin, winner of the Xiamen World Cup in 2016, takes on Reza Ali Porshena, the world record holder. 5.48, his world record. He's come very close to it. He's 700th of a second away from it on his last race. Can Kokorin compete? He will likely have to get very close to the world record if he wants to. And he starts well, but Reza's got pure speed. Reza is absolutely flying here. The time, 5.63. Not his quickest run by any means today, but he does enough, and that's what it means. 5.63, Reza Ali Porshena, your winner in Villars. Kokorin stopped the clock in 6.11. I thought that to beat Reza, he would have to get very, very close to the world record. And so it proved. He'd have had to be within 1,500ths of the world record. He wasn't, but he applauds the crowd. 6.11, he takes the silver medal. Great evening's work for him. But Reza, it would seem, increasingly the man to beat in speed climbing. And Kokorin just putting the praise, all the praise to Reza. Have another look at it. It wasn't the best start from Reza. We saw that again earlier on this evening when he gets his start dialed. He really will be posting some extraordinary times. 5.63, not too shabby though. 6.11 for Kokorin, by no means slow. He just couldn't quite match Reza this evening. And we would appear that Yulia Kaplina and Anouk Jobert are back on the stage. Well, we shall see.
At your marks.
Kaplina on the left, Jobert on the right.
Ready?
And Anouk Jobert got a really fast start this time. This is very tight, just as it was the last time. Both of them stumbling about the same place. 8.22, Anouk Jobert. Anouk Jobert comes down, all smiles. It would appear that she has the gold medal. Let me clarify.
Allez sous détente, là-bas la cantine de vous avez les casques qui vous attendent, il y a seulement 1000 casques. Nico, tu as un micro ou pas?
Crowd begins to disappear here in Villars as the athletes head off the stage.
Tu vas t'occuper de leur donner les informations pour la soirée. Et nous, on va faire les podiums de la vitesse. Ce soir, on fait la fête et demain, on commence à 10h.
That was the rerun of that big final. Clearly, you remember, took the version 1 by 1,000th of a second. Gilbert took the rerun. Good looking bloke just being picked out in the crowd there. There he is. All on his lonesome. It's okay, I can take it. Well, superb evening of speed climbing here in Villars. Let's have another look at Reza. This is the big final. It was a pretty good start from Reza. And at first glance, it didn't look like the best of starts. Actually, watching it in slow motion, it wasn't too bad at all. 5.63 confirms it. This was Annick Jobert against Julia Kaplina. Kaplina's there on the left, Jobert's on the right. You can see both slipped in about the same place, and then Kaplina slipped again. There you can see the view that we had at the start of our live stream. Been replaced by darkness. Big moon here in Villars. Makes for some wonderful evening light. We will have our podium ceremony. See a few of the athletes disappearing. Reza Porchain has just walked past, receiving congratulations from everyone. I'll confirm the results for you shortly. Podium all ready to go, and that man will be standing on top of it. I think he was pretty happy with that one. Never a man to hide his emotions, Reza. That's what my arms look like.
Bon, messieurs, dames, on fait les podiums dans 2-3 minutes et ensuite on fait la fête. Silent party. Est-ce que le Suisse de la sono, notre ami sonorisateur, peut donner le micro au DJ?
VIP area behind me just beginning to empty out.
De l'IFSC présente avec nous. Notre ministre aussi et second adjoint.
See me down there, I've got a pretty good position. Right in front of the wall. Let's have a look at some more replays here. This is a small final. Casavina took that in 8.46. There you go, 8.73 for Ivanova. This is the men's small final, which Delin took 5.84. Very fast time from here. You had to work for it. For Sally also under 6 seconds, 5.94. This is Annick Jobert, the first of the big finals. There we can see the rerun of the women's big final. It's had a few people frantically searching the IFSC rulebook when there was some confusion amongst a few people here in Villars about why it was being rerun. Although the timing can run to 3 decimal places, that is thousandths of a second, there is a rerun if they're tied. So there was a rerun, Jobert got her second chance. I think Julia Kaplina wasn't aware of that, and neither it seemed was Anouk Jobert, because when they lowered off, Kaplina was celebrating and Jobert was seemingly heartbroken. But a rerun if it's 2 digits, so if they're tied. So even though Kaplina won it on time, she did win it by 1,000th of a second. It goes according to the 2 digits that are visible to us. And as I say, I'm not sure that either Yulia Kaplina or Anouk Jobert was aware of that. Whether that's a slight let-off for Anouk Jobert, let you be the judge. But either way, she got another chance and she took it. Yulia Kaplina, the first slip-up we've seen from her. She won't win here in Villars. Anouk Jobert is back on the top of the podium once more. Podium all lit up, you can see it there. In Villars, that's the lead wall, so you can get an idea of the layout of our venue here in Villars. Speed wall on our speed wall on the left. Big screen in the middle, and then the lead wall on the right. And if you're just tuning in and you want to know what Villars is like, well, here you go.
Perched at 1,300 metres above sea level and with a staggering view of the Rhone Valley, Villars is a small village in the Swiss canton of Vaud. Most of the residents around here live in classic alpine chalets, and the village retains a quiet and peaceful feel. It is, however, a very international place, being home to 2 of the most exclusive international boarding schools in the world, including the perfectly situated Beau Soleil College in the village centre, which enjoys surely the most distracting classroom view of any school on earth. This is the IFSC's second visit to Villars, and it is already a favourite amongst athletes and support crew alike.
Mountain views, seemingly quite a distant memory. You see sun disappeared a couple of hours ago here. Not a bad selfie. Get one facing the other way. As I say, we're just awaiting our podium ceremony here in Villars. Just to run you through our order, Anouk Jobert on the second time of asking, she in inverted commas lost the big final by 1,000th of a second. That's still too tight to be called. Reran it. She took it the second time. She beat Yulia Kaplina. In third place, Maria Krasavina. Meanwhile, in the men's competition, Reza Ali-Poshena beat Stanislav Kokorin into second. Vladislav Dolin was third. There's our DJ giving it beans. The podium's ready, I think the athletes are ready. Not sure what the delay is.
One DJ from France, 2 DJ from Switzerland. You have to choose your song. Come on, go to take a headphone.
Jobert's just a couple of meters away from me now. We will be on the podium soon. Marco Scolaris, president of the IFSC, ready for the podium ceremony. Climbers are all around, and I think they will be on the stage very shortly. Let's say we'll bring the podium ceremony to you as soon as it's underway. Just a couple of minutes.
Voilà, mesdames et messieurs, on est prêt dans un instant pour la remise des prix. On va baisser la musique, Nico. On va demander à nos élus de rejoindre l'arrière du mur. Alors, je vous rappelle que les podiums maintenant sont faits avec le prototype. Monsieur Jean-Christophe Lac, est-ce que vous pouvez nous rejoindre s'il vous plaît, Marco Scolaris?
Reza Alipour, please. Can you go back to the wall? Reza Alipour, please.
The victory ceremony for the IFSC Speed World Cup Villars-sur-Roland 2016. Mesdames et messieurs, la cérémonie des vainqueurs de la Coupe d'escalade de vitesse Villars-sur-Roland 2017. Please welcome the medalists for the speed climbing women. Mesdames et messieurs, soyez accueillis médaillés de l'escalade de vitesse féminine.
Ceremony is a basic delay. They're actually going to the fleet. If I would have woke up, be able to get me on stage, let alone just going into the crowd. So it's live. They've found out. They are.
President of the International Federation of Sport Climbing.
So it'll be the women first, as it was in the final itself.
Accompanied by Mr. Jean-Christophe Lec, Tourism and Economic Minister of the city of Villars-sur-Roland.
Our dignitaries adduced. It would appear that Villars, population, I don't know, 2,000, has its own tourism and economic minister. He will be presenting medals alongside IFSC Marcos Scolaris. And there's Maria Krasavina playing 8.46 her small final against Igova, enough to her net her the bronze medal. She also receives her commemorative plaque. Not a bad haul.
Silver medalist representing Russia. Médaille d'argent représentant la Russie, Kaplina Yulia.
There's Yulia Kaplina, the first time she's not won a World Cup 2017. She did win the big final, not by enough. It's not clear enough margin of victory, it has hundredths of a second. As I say, I'm not entirely sure she was aware of that time. But he looks pretty happy with the silver medal. Leading the way in the overall standing, still European champion and two-time World Cup champion already this year, so silver not too bad.
Gold medalist and winner of the Villars-sur-Lens IFSC Speed World Cup 2016, representing France. Médaillé d'or et vainqueur de la Coupe du Monde de vitesse de Villars-sur-Lens 2017, représentant la France.
And on the top step, Anouk Joubert, first win for her of 2017, got a second shot final and made the most of it. Gold medal, first one of this year after 4 last year. And a very nice cowl with it, gold no less. And here is the national anthem.